Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 28 female, was disowned by my parents at 20 because of something my cousin, 30 female, did. I ended up going to the same college as her and got into the same sorority. I had a late glow up, basically a second puberty in my late teens, and it clearly made my cousin jealous. She had always been very concerned about her looks and was the pretty one in the family. She used to gloat about her looks and make jabs at others' appearances. So when she saw me in college, she went nuts with jealousy. I made it into the same sorority as her, which seemed to make things worse. I was never cool in school, so it must have come as a surprise to her. I started lowering contact with her because she was salty and her jealousy was becoming more obvious. Then, at one sorority party, I was dared to kiss a girl as part of a game. That was the moment my life ended. My cousin recorded it and sent it to my parents, who are very homophobic. As a result, my parents disowned me and cut off my financial aid. It was horrifying. I suddenly had no support and had to take on multiple jobs just to survive. I lost myself in the process. By the time I graduated, didn't even recognize myself. I was in a really bad state, mentally and physically. But I kept pushing forward, and now years later, I am financially stable, married, and recently had twins. I have no contact with my parents, and though I'm doing well, I am still a very wounded individual on the inside. Last week, something strange happened. I opened my door to find my cousin, her husband, and her mom, my aunt, standing there. I honestly thought they were there to apologize. I was a mess at that moment because the twins were sick. I had bags under my eyes and was wearing mismatched pajamas, and hadn't had a proper shower in 2 days. The twins were crying and I was sleep deprived and overwhelmed. My cousin gave me a half-assed apology, then tried to make small talk, which felt really awkward. The twins were fussy, and while I was trying to calm them down, my cousin suddenly explained that she's infertile, but really wants to be a mom. She doesn't want to adopt an unrelated child, so she said, she has decided she would like to adopt one of my twins. I just stared at her. It took me at least 2 minutes to process what she was saying. She started looking around my messy home and mentioned how difficult it must be to raise 2 babies at once and how she could give one of them a better life than I could anyway. I felt dazed and I chased them out of my house, shooting after them. They were insane. Now I'm a mess. I'm dealing with constant anxiety that they will try to ruin my life again. My cousin already destroyed my life once, and now I'm terrified she's going to try something else. I finally have the perfect life I worked so hard for, and I can't shake the fear that they're going to do something to mess it all up. Help put my mind at ease. Update. I knew that it wouldn't be the end of it, and I was right. A few days ago, I received a letter from my parents' lawyer. They are suing for grandparents' rights. I am in absolute shock that they would do this. They haven't even seen my children once. They haven't made any attempt to even text me for the past 7 years. What's gotten into them now? The letter claims that they have a right to be in my children's lives, and that my refusal to allow contact is detrimental to the twins' well-being. It also mentions my exhausted state, which I'm sure is input from my cousin and her family, as if that's proof that I'm an unfit mother. I can't even begin to describe how terrified I am. I have worked so hard to build my life back up after everything they put me through, and now they're trying to rip my family apart. My husband and I have been consulting with a lawyer, and thankfully he said there's no grandparents' rights in our state, which I'm sure they knew too, but sent the letter anyway to unsettle me. I don't know. On top of it all, my aunt has been calling me and leaving messages from various numbers. accusing me of being selfish and denying my parents the chance to be grandparents. I have blocked all of them, but I'm still anxious all the time. I'm scared to leave my twins alone for even a moment. Every time I hear a knock at the door or see an unfamiliar car outside, my heart starts pounding. I can't believe that this is happening. If it comes to that, I will fight this with everything I have. I'm not going to let them or anyone else take my babies from me. I have worked too hard to get here, and I'm not going to let anyone destroy my family. Final update. I made a post about a year ago. I just want to let everybody know that we are all okay. It's been wonderful and the twins are thriving. They're happy, healthy, and growing so fast. Every day with them is a blessing. And I'm so grateful that we are finally in a good place. My parents' cousin did try some shenanigans to upset me. We had CPS at our door twice and police once for a domestic disturbance that never happened. But it all stopped after a while. I guess they got weary of it all. I have decided to not have contact with my parents and extended family. My focus now is on building a happy life for my little family, and I refuse to let anyone toxic into our lives again. Thank you to everyone who offered support and encouragement during the toughest moments. It meant the world to me to know that there were people out there who understood and had my back. Your parents and your extended family are nothing short of crazy OP. I genuinely feel pity for you, and I wish you weren't related to these evil people who are so out of touch with reality. I can't believe your cousin had the guts to come back to you after everything she did to you. But then again, I can't blame your cousin without blaming your parents, who disowned their own daughter over a video of her kissing a girl. If they had a conversation with you, they would have realized that you were not gay. They don't deserve to be in your life or your children's life, and I'm so happy you've cut them off totally. The twins will grow healthier without that kind of people around them. Story 2. Would I be the a-hole if me and my husband forced our adoptive daughter to go vegan? Throwaway account because I don't want my main account to be related to this thread. It's kind of a messy story, so I'll try to keep it as simple as I can. And English is not my first language. Me, 43 female, and my husband, 45 male, are the biological parents of a lovely girl, 15 female. We always wanted a second child, but because of some personal problems, we were unable to. 3 years ago, we welcomed a young girl, 13 female, now, in our family. There was not a single problem at that time. I think everyone was just a little stressed because it was a big change. But now there are a lot of troubles in our family. Our biological daughter has been vegan for 4 months, and we have chosen to become vegan as well to support her in her convictions, as we believe it is an important step in her adolescent life. However, this situation has created a lot of tension, as our adopted daughter doesn't want to follow her sister in this journey. Our biological daughter has been pressuring us to force our adopted daughter to go vegan as well, since she doesn't want any animal product in the house. We agreed to stop buying it because it makes her sick just to know that there is some in the house. This doesn't sit well with our adopted daughter, who doesn't want to go vegan, but we already promised our biological daughter to go full vegan with her as a family. We plan to force everyone to eat vegan from now on, as our daughter's well-being is the most important thing to us. We hope that this tension disappears with time, but if it doesn't, we don't really know how to handle the adopted daughter. We tried to let them discuss this between the girls, but it became very heated. Currently, our adopted daughter sleeps at a friend's house because she was mad at our daughter, and while she was away, we made the shift to the vegan diet. When she comes home, she will have to comply with the new diet. We spoke with some friends and their reactions were mixed, some supporting us while others found it unnecessary. Would we be a-holes if we forced her to go vegan to maintain the peace in our family? You would be the a-hole if you forced your adoptive daughter to be a vegan OP. Honestly, I can tell if your adoptive daughter was vegan, you wouldn't force your biological daughter to join her on this journey, and some of your word choices on this post prove to me that you're playing favorites, which isn't great. If your goal was not to treat this girl like your daughter, then you shouldn't have adopted her. I love that you're supportive of your daughter's choices, but you should also teach her that she can't force her beliefs on people because she might grow up doing just that, since you let her do that now. She can be vegan, but she shouldn't force veganism on people who don't want to be vegan. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. You are literally one of the most vile a-holes I have seen on this subreddit. You went to the bother of adopting a daughter and you openly admit that she is second on your priorities. They are both your daughters, plural. That sentence should never be typed or spoken by someone with adopted children. Why on earth did you bother adopting her if you were not going to treat her 100% equal? You're the a-hole. It's a great parenting move to support your older daughter's veganism. It's a bad parenting move to suddenly force that lifestyle choice on your younger daughter. You say your older daughter's decision to go vegan is an important step in her adolescent life. And you're right, she's asserting who she is. But you're refusing to allow your younger daughter to also assert who she is, a carnivore, and playing favorites in the process. Why not have a vegan option at every meal? And a few meals each week that are full vegan without forcing, your word, this huge dietary change on everyone in the family all at once. You would be the a-hole. What your daughter, adopted or not, eats is entirely up to her. You are clearly favoring one daughter over the other. And the fact that she's adopted shouldn't have even been mentioned. How many more times, I wonder, have you put the biological kid first, without caring a whit about what the other child thinks? Biological kid is going to end up one of those obnoxious, holier-than-thou vegans that everyone hates. And adopted daughter is going to end up going no contact with you when she's grown. I'm not honestly sure if you even care though. You're the a-hole. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for taking a disabled student seat? I'm currently taking a class at my local college. The class is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But last Monday was a holiday, so the first day of class was last Wednesday. I attended the first day of class, but it was packed, so I had to stand in the back. Then I missed the Friday lecture as well as the Monday lecture. Today, Wednesday, was my first day back. I knew the class was packed, so I came 10 minutes early to get a seat in the front row. I prefer to sit in the front row because I have anxiety. By sitting in the front, I'm able to ask questions or answer questions without being forced to shout it across the room. I'm perfectly capable of doing well in a course if I'm forced to sit in the back. This is just a strong preference. All seats are first come, first served. There are 2 seats in each class called priority seats, specifically designated for the disabled that are only open to abled students when they're unoccupied. You have to notify the school, then the professor makes sure that seat is available to you every lecture. For the abled seats, after a few weeks, people always tend to sit in the same seats, and you get the impression that it's your seat, that you sit in for the rest of the semester, even though it's technically not. After I sit down, I notice 2 girls walk in together, talking and laughing. One girl sits in the seat behind me, and the other girl stands next to me and says, Girl 1, Hi, sorry, actually you're sitting in my seat. Me? There's no assigned seating, anyone can sit anywhere. Girl 1, Yeah, but I've been sitting in this seat all semester. This is our 3rd lecture out of like 30. There are still open seats in the back that you can move to. Me, which means there are also open seats in the back that you can sit in too, right? Girl 1, Look, I'm deaf in one ear. I need a seat in the front row. Move, please. I saw her hearing aid. Me. Then you would be registered with the Disabled Students Department and they would have made sure you had priority seating. This isn't a priority seating. Girl 1. I don't need to register anything with the school and I don't need to explain myself to you. It's my seat. I told you I need it because I'm hard of hearing. Me. Wouldn't those same rules apply to me as well? Not needing to explain myself to you? Girl 2. Stop being an a-hole and just effing move. Jesus. Me. I'm done talking. I'm not moving. Girl 1 and 2. Scoffs. Girl 1 finds another seat. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but I damn sure spent the rest of the class overhearing everyone behind me talking shit about me. It's important to point out that we are always given worksheets that we can work on with the person behind us. So it's possible Girl 1 mostly wanted my seat so she could work with Girl 2 on it. Also, I was in the front seat in the far left corner. There are about 10 seats closer to the middle board than the seat I was in. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. You obviously know nothing about being deaf. She had picked a seat where she was able to hear perfectly. If she moved, she probably wouldn't have been able to. And by your own admission, everyone considers the seat that they have been sitting in after a while, so you're the a-hole. You're the a-hole. It's likely the disabled seats are more likely to be given to people with mobility issues, and it's possible the school rejected some accommodations she requested. I have ADHD and anxiety, but I wasn't able to qualify for an emotional support animal in the dorms, for example. If she had a bad experience before, then it's possible she didn't bother to renew her accommodations. I did that one semester when I was annoyed at how the office handled an incident. It was a dumbass move, but I still did it. LMAO. The point is, you made a mountain of a molehill, dude. Not the a-hole. The only point where you got close to being an a-hole too was by assuming her intent. Everything you said against her was in defense. She escalated the situation. She initiated the interaction and kept escalating it. So even if you were being pushy, you didn't retaliate or escalate, you just stood your ground. People often accuse the person sticking up for themselves as being the aggressor. She made a problem in her own head. That seat is mine. Then took it out on you when the reality of the situation, there is no assigned seating, sunk in. She was being an ass by weaponizing her disability. You also have a valid reason for needing to sit in the front. She also started off the interaction aggressively. She could have just said, "Hey, I wanted to work with my friend behind you. Could we switch spots?"